Hey guys, it's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another live commentary. This is of the 2018 smash hit, starring the late Chadwick Boseman, a movie I really enjoyed in the theater. It was really uplifting. Black Panther, the original Black Panther. I'm not going to do the sequel this month because it's way too long. This is about 2 hours and 5 minutes without the end credits. So let's get started. Hopefully, I'll keep the volume low so I don't get a copyright infringement because Marvel will strike me down if they hear any sound here, or Disney. There's the meteor from the movie Vibranium. Yep, they struck Africa because this movie is very black. So just be reminded of that. Yep, Wakanda or Uganda, and the real country is Uganda in Africa. That looks awesome. That planter goddess. It says 2 hours and 14 minutes, but that's with the end credits. I just prefer the first movie over the sequel. The sequel was too damn long. It was 2 hours and 41 minutes with the end credits. Happy late New Year and birthday, John. Also, this movie really kicks the crap out of Eternals. Yeah, because it's shorter. There's some subtitles because they wanted to be faithful to the African language, but there's way more in the sequel, and there's too many flashbacks in the sequel. And the opening is depressing. Yeah, the elephant looks cool. This opening is really cool. There's some bad CGI in this, but it's mostly near the end. It's not the CGI rhinos or uh, the suit when he's jumping on the car. No, that looks okay. But at least Black Panther's in the movie. In the sequel, Shuri doesn't become the Black Panther until 2 hours into the movie. 2 hours. 1992. Yeah, my sister was born. This is a flashback, but it's short. It's not 10 minutes like a DC flashback. This is Killmonger as a kid, playing basketball. He got, he appropriated the African American lifestyle. That's why he doesn't have the accent. He's played by Michael B. Jordan later when he's also happy belated birthday, Michael B. Jordan. He was great in this as a villain. Granted, they shouldn't have killed off Claw. They kill him off so that Michael B. Jordan can be. Hey, look, it's the kid from. Yeah, there's Sterling K. Brown. It's a cameo. It's not in the film that much. And this film is very black. Like I saw it in the theater, 80% of the audience was black, Josh. So if you do see this podcast, yes, this is a pro black movie, very, very culturally sensitive. And this is when Disney took chances. When they did the sequel, they made it wait. They didn't have Bozeman there. So, or Michael B. Jordan for very long. So they're like, we got to make the movie longer. Why? Winter Soldier wasn't 20 minutes longer than First Avenger. There's the Wakandan women. Bald. They're awesome, but I just prefer black women with hair. That's just my preference. And making one of them gay added nothing to the sequel. You get a kiss on the head. That's it. Why? Because Disney doesn't have the balls to make a movie with black women being lesbians. There's a prove to me that you're one of us. They are. You saw he has the thing on his lips like this. That was a cool way to do it. Now, when Blade comes out, there's no more excuses. You saw T'Chaka. Love that costume, by the way. The costume, this movie deserved Oscar nominations. It got Oscar nominations, Josh. So you got to stop saying, "Oh, these are comic book movies. They'll never be Oscar worthy." Yeah, they are because Joker won an Oscar for Best Actor, and so did The Dark Knight. So did Spider-Man 2. So did Spider-Verse. Yeah, just because Spider-Verse is animated does not mean that it's not worthy. It was where I still think the best animated movie that year was Incredibles 2, but that's just my opinion. Mainly because it was shorter and it felt like a Marvel movie. Spider Verse was made so that they could throw a bone to the black audiences that didn't have a black Spider Man. So they're like, here you go. Yeah, Claw. There's Andy Serkis. Yeah, my friend Levi saw him at a convention this year. Good for him. I'm going to 2 conventions this year. I want to. I'm tired of being stuck in the house. The winter's been very underwhelming with the weather. The acting's really good here too. The thing is, this movie was catered for an audience of color, not people that are white. Mostly because there's barely white people in the film. You got Claw, played by a Brit. Then you have Martin Freeman, and then at the end you have Bucky, who's in a post-credit scene. Yeah, there's the thing on the lips again. I felt so empowered when I saw this. This and Black Klansman made me feel so empowered. With Wakanda Forever, I was just depressed. It's a great performance from especially Angela Bassett, but it's undercut because she dies in the middle of the film, and then Shuri doesn't become the Black Panther until 2 hours. I'm like, "My god, you couldn't put her in the suit in an hour? You had to wait 2 freaking hours?" It's not an origin story, guys. This is the origin story. Yet T'Challa's already in the costume the first time you see him. You don't have to wait an hour. That's bad pacing, Marvel. That's why your movies failed last year, except for Guardians 3. You rushed everything. You cut the Marvel's running time in half. You made Quantumania. You didn't finish the effects, which was I like the movie. It's just that the effects should have been better for Modoc. And not only that, but you delayed your movies too many times. Eternals. I don't want to see a sequel. I hated the movie from the moment I saw it, and I'm never watching it again. There's a commentary I can listen to. Let me lower that. I don't want to get a copyright infringement. I had to shut the music off because you are not blocking this video. Once Chadwick is gone, Marvel should have just canceled Wakanda Forever. Yeah, exactly. Or they should have just done a Disney Plus show about Wakanda. That would have been more thing. It defeats the purpose to do a sequel with an actor that's not even there. And they didn't want to recast, so they have to make their bed. If they mess up their bed, they have to fix it. This is a good movie. You didn't need a sequel. That Here's present day. There he is. I miss you, man. I miss him a lot. BBC, yeah, like what do they know? They're barely in this movie. There's a Baron Zemo from Civil War. This takes place right after Civil War. There's the costume. Yeah. Nobody can replace Bozeman. Sorry. He is irreplaceable. I miss you, man. I miss you a lot. There's Denai Garai. She's awesome. I love her character. It's probably the best Wakanda woman in the entire series because she's bald and she's a badass. She's what the hobo should have been. Yeah, Josh, not of color, just somebody that I can take seriously. And the actress doesn't even sound like that. I've seen what she sounds like. She's in The Walking Dead and she has dreadlocks. The original Walking Dead, not Fear the Walking Dead. I love that tattoo on her head. Mm. She looks like a bald Viola Davis. I miss him so much. I didn't know he was sick. I never freeze. Mm. I love that costume so much. It meant a lot to me, guy. A black African superhero in the MCU, and now he was replaced by a woman that's barely in the freaking costume. You think they're going to take Shuri seriously when Kang's Dynasty comes out? No, because she was barely in the freaking movie. She looks too thin. And I'm sorry, but uh, Letitia Wright looks like a dude. She doesn't look like a woman. I'm sorry. She looks like a they, and that's not for me. I want a black woman that I can lick my lips at, like Tiana. Tiana is the most gorgeous black woman in the MCU. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. She's dark skinned just like them and would fit in Wakanda because of her gorgeous hair. Monica Rambeau. That's the hottest black woman I've ever seen in the MCU. This scene, I could see Black Panther fine. In the theater, it was a little dark, but at home, when you can watch it on the TV, the light looks way better. I can see everything. And this movie doesn't have the racist stuff like a lot of movies do. These black struggle movies, or it works. There's a Lupita Nyong'o. She was barely in the sequel. I don't even know why she came back. because Bozeman's not there, so it was like some a piece of the puzzle was missing, guys. That's why I haven't bought that movie yet because it makes me sad. Love the acting. I think the emotional stakes of the movie really work. See, I can see Chadwick Boseman fine. The costume right there. They're like, "Oh, this is woke because it's just for a black audience." Yeah, just like every Tyler Perry movie, just like every freaking Jordan Peele movie. Every movie has an audience. Josh saw this movie and probably felt like $1,000,000 when he saw it at home because he didn't go to the theater to see it. I did, and I felt so empowered when it was over. And I'm only part black. And not Letitia. Lupita was actually used in this movie. In Star Wars, they gave her nothing to do, and I'm like, yeah, kiss my ass for that, J.J. Abrams and Ryan Johnson. You took an Oscar-winning actress for 12 Years a Slave and made her do nothing as Maz. Waste of a character. Yoda did more than her. So sexy. Look at that dark skin. She's Kenyan. Mm. And the accents are great. I love the accent. They don't bother me at all in the movie. Why? Because I hear these kind of accents all the time. A lot of Caribbean people that used to cut my hair, Jamaicans, they sound like that. Yeah, I miss him. I miss him. Well, the actor's still alive. He was in the Lion King remake. This basically is the Lion King when you think about it, except that if Simba was already an adult in the beginning, he wasn't a kid. But it reminded me of the Lion King that the not the uncle, but another person wants to take the throne. T'Challa's the rightful king. Again, it's the Lion King, guys. It really is. And it's a pro-black movie. There's nothing wrong with that. You can't call it woke if it belongs here. It's called Black Panther, not White Panther. Sorry. Heterosexual guy, you get it. There's an audience for every movie, whether it's good or bad. Sorry, but there is. There's people that saw freaking Disaster movie in the theater. One of the worst comedies I've ever seen in my life. Yet that movie, it didn't make money, but people saw it in the theater. I didn't. I knew it was horrible. Ah! And this is the perfect movie to see during Black History Month. Because Blade, I've already done the Blade movies. Yep, there's Wakanda. They actually filmed this in Australia, and South parts of South Africa as well. Look at the animals running. That's so cool. Yeah, it is The Lion King. It is, and it's about as long as the remake, but it's better. Look at those real locations. See, real people, real animals, real humanity. There's no the digital stuff is in the background until we get to the end. Then it gets too digital. That looks great. That spaceship looks amazing. I love it. No, it never does, Bozeman. Never. If I were the creator of Wakanda Forever, I'd rather have Shuri be the costume of 15 minutes. Exactly. Not freaking 2 hours into the movie. I'm like, when is she going to get in the costume? When? A sequel, you're supposed to be in the costume early, not halfway through the freaking movie. Even Across the Spider Verse didn't do that. Yeah, Miles is not in the first 15 minutes, but he's in the costume already when you see him. You don't have to wait an hour for that. I'm tired of Marvel doing that. Or DC, because they're responsible for this too. Because when Batman Begins, you don't get Batman until halfway through the movie. I didn't want to wait that long. I'm sorry. It's a good movie. It's just too damn long. There's Shuri. Here she looks like a girl, but in the second movie, she has this spinach head, this freaking broccoli hair. It looks weird on her. I don't know. I'm just not a fan. I prefer this look in this movie. Those costumes are freaking fantastic, man. And I don't buy her fighting a Kang. She's so good, man. Angela Bassett, mwah. I love it. You were robbed of that Oscar, by the way. And these women were willing to shave their heads bald. Well, not Angela Bassett, because she didn't want to be bald. She's winking at her. These women are awesome, and see, they don't have to preach that they're women. And I have a little sister, so I know exactly what it feels like, and I love her dearly. Yes, her face looks very boyish. She looks like a female Kofi Kingston. It's just weird. I don't know what it is. She can't take his place. That's the problem. Nobody can replace Bozeman. Nobody. Voice acting wise, yes. In person, not a chance. He is the Black Panther. Plus, she's way too thin for me. I prefer Tiana Paris. She has more meat on her bones. Even Vivica Fox, and she didn't do these movies because she's almost 60 years old. Bassett is an ageless wonder, man. Absolutely amazing. Love her earrings. I love the way this film looks. That's the problem I have with movies nowadays. They look like a cartoon, like a CGI cartoon. Compare this movie, well made, $1 billion hit, and great cast, and it's not a cartoon until the end, compared to Fast X. Fast X looks like a freaking cartoon. There's Michael B. Jordan. Love his hair. His dreads. It makes him look intimidating. This Blu-ray looks amazing, and I bought it used a couple years ago. This movie is also similar to the second Shazam movie, when they break into the museum, except this movie's better because it's shorter. And also, I can take this villain seriously. The villains in Shazam 2, you had two great women, and they give them Razzies. Yeah. And then you have Rachel Ziegler, who changes sides, and she's too beautiful to be a villain. Where her hands glow like this. He's not going to buy them. He's going to steal them. Yeah, London. Let's face it. They appropriated black people. They took black slaves and they put them. They taught them to talk like that in that drunk, boring ass accent. That's why Idris Elba talks like that, guys. And Josh is like, you can't see Hobbs and Shaw. You'll never make it. I can sit through anything except a movie about rape. That I'm not going to sit through. I'm not going to sit through After or 365 Days or Blonde or any. No, I don't want to sit through movies that are against women. That is not my jam. I like women being presented as beautiful and majestic and feminine and sexy and human, not as freaking as a pack mule. There's Andy Serkis, man, great. He was not wasted here. He does the most with his limited screen time. Unlike when he was Snoke in Last Jedi, where he just dies. Wow, what a great villain, huh? That's almost his accent because he's playing a South African and they have an accent like that. So they kind of sound British. It's fine. And when he sings What is Love, Baby Don't Hurt Me, that's funny. Here it was funny. In Percy Jackson, it felt really flat. He has a Mega Man arm. That's yeah, they're stealing artifacts. They took that in Shazam too. And that movie bombed badly. This movie was a huge hit. So was the second one. It just didn't make as much money because people without Bozeman, people were crying in the first 15 minutes. But how far are we in? We're 18 minutes in. Yeah, so we still got a long way to go. Please stop killing off Andy Serkis in movies. In Lord of the Rings, he deserved it, but not in this movie or in The Last Jedi because they've completely ruined his character. Some people just didn't like this movie because it's too pro-black. Again, this is the month for that. Sorry, guys. Mm. A black girl. I want to date a black girl, an Asian girl. I made no bones about it. I want her to not be anything like me, meaning race-wise, not personality-wise. That shot is amazing. See, this has pride. Again, the pride that I look for. Those costumes are really, really awesome. That guy that has the plate in his lips like this, I don't know how he can talk. Good luck with my podcast. I always have luck on my side, Josh. I can actually leave my home whenever I feel like it. I just chose not to because I wanted to do this podcast of this movie now. It's the perfect timing for it because I did the Blade movies already and I'm not doing Spider Verse. I'm going to hear the commentary for Across the Spider Verse, and that is it. That is all you're getting from me because the movie is too damn long. It went from an hour and 48 minutes to 2 hours and 20. Why? Because Sony is obsessed with making their movies overly long. Movie was amazing seeing this in the theater with people that were in dashikis and wearing these African outfits. It was amazing. It looked just like this. I wasn't uncomfortable. I was very comfortable. I'm a person of color. I fit with them. Ta-da-lo. That art direction is just amazing. There's Forrest Whitaker. And there's the guy, Daniel Kaluuya. Yes. The most annoying Spider Man character in Across the Spider Verse. I know people like them. I didn't. I'm sorry. I thought he looked too ghetto. His accent took me out of it, as Spider Punk. He's a stupid character. I hated that character. Here, he's just there. He was just in this movie because he's dark skinned. Yeah. And he's not in the sequel. Why? Because he was busy butchering Spider Man. I like the Indian Spider Man more because his accent actually fit. He's an Indian Spider Man. Didn't bother me. But with Kaluuya, it's like he has this weird afro. It looks weird. It looks like asparagus. It's just mental. I don't know why they thought that was going to look good on screen. It didn't. He looked weird. He looked like a cardboard cutout. Who? When Marvel wants to do representation, they want to do it right, especially with blacks, Asians, Hispanics, whatever. Because look at Shang Chi. I'm going to do that one, but I'll do that in May. This makeup is amazing as well, guys. How does that guy have that thing in his mouth? I don't know how you can talk. Look at these. Look at these. This movie is just beautiful to look at, man. It is a work of art. That's why it made so much money. That's why black people put this as like one of the top movies to see during Black History Month or Kwanzaa at the end of at the end of December. I miss you, Chadwick. You were the reason this worked. You, Michael B. Jordan, and Ryan Coogler's amazing direction and the art direction, just amazing. Who? Are there stereotypes? Yes, but again, it's not racist like some other movies, like some of the Tarzan movies where they're in Africa and the main characters are white. Again, different time. Who? That guy's awesome. Yeah, I love this guy. Umbaku, I think his name is. Yeah, he's this guy is absolutely amazing. Like even in the second movie, the water people, the people of the water. I love that. See, unlike Idris Elba, he has presence to him. That's why he's not in this movie because he was dead by a few months after this movie came out. He had Infinity War, and he's the first to die. Him and Loki, the two Brits, are the first to die. The Russos do not like Brits. Yeah, they don't like Brits because the first two people to die in Infinity War after most of Asgard is Loki and freaking Hemdall. Yeah, Civil War, they kill off Haley Atwell's character. Told you, Josh, they're just as biased as I am. If you're not a fan of certain people, don't put them in the freaking movie. I don't want to see John Boyega in the MCU. No, keep him the hell away from this. He's not. He is not good enough. He sucked in Star Wars. I didn't like him in Pacific Rim Uprising. Leave him alone. I don't care if he looks just like Jonathan Majors. He lost his chance. We got to get somebody new, fresh blood in the MCU. Not a man that failed in two franchises. Bozeman, died, but at least he left a legacy that will live forever. Absolutely amazing. This movie has so much color, and I don't just mean their skin, but variety of red, green, yellow, purple. It's amazing. This fight scene is cool too because it's practical. They're actually fighting each other. It's well choreographed. It's got you can see it. It's not edited to crap. I can see what's going on, and it's a PG-13, but it works. Kaluuya doesn't have much to say here, but in Spider-Man, I'm like, please shut up. I don't care about your character. This is about Miles, not you. Oh, let's do an R-rated version with this punk going, oh, blimey. No, it doesn't fit it. A British accent doesn't fit in a Spider-Man movie, especially one that's very pro-black and pro-Hispanic. Sorry. At least Shamik Moore doesn't sound like that. I would love to see him in the MCU. Why not? It would be a great transition after Beyond the Spider-Verse comes out in like 3 years. It's not coming out this year, so. Because the only black movie coming out this month is not counting Madam Web, that Bob Marley movie, that biopic, One Love. Oh, Bozeman. Yeah, show 'em who you are. That's amazing. That's right, sir. Yep, he broke his mask off. It's a very vicious fight. Him and the one with Michael B. Jordan halfway through the movie. They have to fight for the throne, literally. And in Infinity War, how dares they say, why is everybody speaking English? It's a Marvel movie. People don't want to read subtitles. We're lazy. As Marvel fans, we don't want to read subtitles for 2 hours. Sorry. But Game of Thrones already had enough subtitles in that when that show came out. And Netflix has a lot of shows that are subtitled completely, like Squid Game. Yeah. Audiences are lazy. They want to see a movie, not read it. There's a few subtitles here, but it's like 1 or 2 words. It's not 55 words. The sequel went overboard with it. I was like, this is not even necessary. Atuma has to speak in subtitles, and Namor and freaking Lupita Nyong'o. It's too much. Yep, he tapped out. See, a decisive win. Black power, baby. Yes, sir. Kaluuya's just happy because he got paid for this movie. Because this was after Get Out came out, and I was like, "Wow, this movie's revolutionary. It's got a black lead, yeah, a black British lead that has to hide his accent. What kind of a slap in the face is that? That would be like seeing Bad Boys 4 and Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are cameos. I'll be like, no, I watched those movies for them, not for the freaking cameos. We all miss you, Chadwick. You're gonna live as king of Wakanda forever, man. And when he died, it was just it left a very big hole in the MCU. And he died the same year. Wakanda forever, man. Wakanda forever, forever and ever. And I like the character because even when I saw Ultimate Avengers 2, I was a fan of the character. Yeah, this is the ceremony when he sees his father. I think this is when I cried when I first saw this in the theater. Yeah, because he sees his father again, and not in a vision, but through this ceremony they do. Wait, is my phone off? Let me check. Yeah, I got to shut this off. I don't want any interruptions. No interruptions. because I'm going to see another movie after this. It's shorter. There we go. Now I won't get any praise the ancestors. Yeah, because they do like just like they did in Mulan. Yeah, they put sand on him. But when Shuri does this, she's looking for her brother, and then she sees Michael B. Jordan. It was very random. There's Civil War. I remember that scene. It was really intense. I saw that with a big crowd, and they were like, "What?" Again, the Lion King. They kill the king, and he has to take the throne. That's the Lion King, guys. I'm probably gonna choke up. And I'm like, yes, Josh, because I'm human. I can't bottle up my emotions. I gotta let them flow. Why? Because my humanity always comes out when I see a movie. This is the scene, yeah. And with Bozeman gone, it means more to me. So excuse me. There's the Black Panthers. Those are CGI. Because real Panthers would have killed him. I've seen a real Black Panther at the zoo years ago. Those Northern Lights are beautiful. This even looks like the Lion King. It really does. There's his father. Yeah. I know. I know. It got me emotional because in the theater I was crying when I saw this because I we hadn't seen him since Civil War. Yeah, I know. We were it was hard. Yeah, he was, and I miss him a lot. See, that scene made me emotional in the theater, Josh. That I didn't know Bozeman was going to die 2 years after this, but that scene left me. I was emotionally distraught because I miss him. And that actor's still alive. Let me see the like the guy that played. Let me see. Black. Wait, let me lower it. I don't want to. I don't want to get a copyright infringement. It's amazing, and they're cooking jerk chicken. What's his name? Yeah, John Connie. He's actually for African. Yeah, he's South African, and he's an author. He's 80 years old. Wow, 80. So when he did this movie, he must have been like in his 70s. New Brighton, Kwaburha, South Africa. I'm sorry if I said that name wrong, but we still got him. Yeah, and he's 80, and we still got him. His birthday's in November. I like Lupita's hair in this movie. It's very like curly. It's like little balls. I don't know. I don't have hair like that. He was in the Ghost in the Darkness in the '90s. Wow, he's doing a film. Oh no, he's writing a story called In Kaba. Yeah, he's gonna be Rafiki in Mufasa the Lion King. He's a good actor too. He made me feel something. A lot of these actors do. There's the CGI, the rhinos. Yeah, love the rhinos in this movie. The armored rhinos. Those rhinos look cool because they put armored on them and they just kick ass at the end. They're not just there for show. How far are we in? Let me see. It says 35 minutes, but yeah, 35 minutes. The film doesn't feel too long. The sequel does. That's why I'm not doing the sequel. I will hear the commentary some other time, like March or April. You saw they almost have the same skin color. Because Kaluuya is actually darker than him, even though he's British. That city looks amazing. Wakanda looks really, really cool. Of course, because the Brits have to steal everything. They take priceless artifacts from other countries and they just appropriate it. That's why I'm not a fan of them. They even did that to the Native Americans in the first Thanksgiving. We're going to come to your land again. Why? You weren't welcome here. You saw that thing. If I put a thing on my lip, I wouldn't be able to talk. The acting is fantastic in this movie. Even Kaluuya, even though he's not great in the movie, he's fine. At least he doesn't sound like a freaking drunk white British man like in Spider Verse. There, I didn't like it. I'm just like that. Would It took me out of the movie. Of all the characters in the movie that had a weird accent, I'm like he was like the worst because with he's basically a cameo, and then when the third act comes, like no, I'm out, bye. So he's a coward. I wasn't a big fan of Miguel, Spider Man 2040 2099, but his costume's cool. It's just Oscar Isaac likes to yell a lot and be angry all the time because he was in Star Wars and he was wasted in X Men Apocalypse. So that looks cool too. This is a foreshadowing of what would happen 2 months later when I saw Infinity War. You weren't there in the theater, Josh. I was. That electricity in the crowd was unbelievable. The rhinos in this look more practical than the rhino in the Amazing Spider Man 2. Yeah, because it's not a cameo. There's a handshake and the gesture. I love his costume. I would love to wear that at Comic Con one day. Here's the meme. What are those? And the movie's not a comedy. See, they have some comedic moments, but it's not shoved down your face. They don't make T'Challa like the step and fetch character. She's basically like Bond's Q, but if Q was a woman and black. What are those? Yeah, that was a meme. Is he's wearing sandals, and people were laughing in the theater because it was a meme Marvel put in a film in a big budget blockbuster in February, by the way. This did not come out in the summer. This was a February release. It was freezing outside. It was sold out. I had to go see the IMAX showing. I was lucky. That's why always buy your tickets to a Marvel movie early. Don't wait till the day of because it's not going to be there. Marvel's, there was plenty of tickets, but I learned my lesson from this movie and from Endgame. I had to buy my ticket early. Never buy your ticket at the last minute. With Deadpool 3, I'm going to get it early in June. That way I'm ready to go. Love that costume so much. I won't wear it for Comic Con because it has a mask and I can't see anything. Yeah, not to be noticed. Yeah. I haven't seen Boseman's other films that he did before he died, like 21 Bridges. I need to see that one. And when he played Jackie Robinson in 42, yeah. I will. I have plenty of time. Yeah, she was so cute here in an Infinity War. What happened in the second movie? In the second movie, she just does nothing but cry, guys. That's what I do, but I don't do that for everything. T'Challa dies, she cries. Then the funeral, she cries. At the end of the movie, she cries. She lost everything. So she's a broken character. So Cap wasn't crying in Winter Soldier as much as, in Civil War. And in that movie, he only cries like once or twice. Shuri, every scene she cries, and it was like it got old fast. It's just like Wade in Elemental that he just cries all the time, and it got grating after a while. Hold on, I'll be right back. The food is amazing. I haven't eaten anything. It's 11. I might as well eat some bread. This is the scene in Busan where they're fighting. Wait, that my dad got Twinkies. I don't mind having them. I can have Twinkies. Again, those costumes look amazing. Very deep pockets. Wink, wink. Yeah, this is the scene where they're talking to an Asian woman. So Lupita knows like 18 different languages in these movies. Costumes are amazing. They deserve the Oscar nomination they got for this movie and also for the second movie as well. I think it got a nomination. See, Denai actually looks really good with hair. There's some beautiful Asian girls. See, this movie's very pro color. There's only like three white people in this entire film. Martin Freeman doesn't get introduced until halfway through the movie. Like, we're 42 minutes in, and he hasn't even shown up yet. Bozeman's suit is amazing. I love it. Would love to wear that to a wedding one day or like a reception. Would I date a black girl with an accent? That depends. Not a British one. That one's completely null and void. When I heard Tandy Newton in Mission Impossible 2 last year, it was painful. She's not a good actress. Even her daughter, I don't think can act either. And why is she light skinned? Her daughter's lighter than her, and I'm like, why? Busan, where is that? That is that in like Thailand or something? Busan. It's a city in South Korea. Okay, so South Korea. I know it wasn't North Korea because you can't film there. You can't film there. You could barely get a picture in North Korea because of how corrupt it is, because of their government, which I'm not going to get to. See, there's some white people here, but they're in the background. There's Martin Freeman. Yeah, 43 minutes into the movie, 43 minutes and 46 seconds, we finally see Martin Freeman. Bilbo Baggins from the original, from The Hobbit. I think he was wasted in the sequel because he's in like two scenes in that. He does nothing in that. There's too many characters in that sequel. What saved that sequel was the emotional weight and Angela Bassett's performance and some of the action. I didn't say Riri, Josh, because I know you're not a fan. I like the actress. The character was very mixed for me. I liked her humor, but she's not Iron Man. I get that. She's not Iron Man. She's Iron Heart. It's a different character. Stanley, I miss you too, man. Yeah, we miss you, Stan. Yeah, this is the year that he passed away at the end of 2018. Without that man, we would not have had this entire MCU, at all. His American accent's fine. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's still better than a lot of other people I had to hear American accents from, like Baenga, where he sounds nasally, and or freaking Robert Pattinson in Twilight. That was awful as well. This is the only thing that Claw does in the movie. This scene, and then when he gets captured with him and Martin Freeman, it's a nice Hobbit reunion from the first movie. Pattinson. His arm is a weapon. It's like Mega Man or Cyborg, from Teen Titans. They probably couldn't get a South African actor like what's his name? Sharlto Copley would have been good in the role as well, but Marvel didn't want to get him because they haven't used him yet. He would have been great if they ever do a South African Marvel character. Sharlto Copley's available, guys. Don't wait until he's 75 years old. I mean, they got Harrison Ford in the next Captain America movie, and he's 80 now. So fragile. Excuse me. Gorgeous woman. Yeah, I love her shade because with hair, I mean, Denai is absolutely amazing. Yeah, there. Take my weave. Did I mention these women are badass in the movie? In the second one, it was just hit and miss for me. There were too many women in the movie. I know that sounds like a nitpick, but I'm like, where are the guys? Oh yeah, Bozeman's dead. Jordan's just a cameo. Claw's dead. Uh, also, Martin Freeman's barely in the movie, and Namor is a villain. He's the villain. There's not a lot of guys in that movie. It's like a opposite of Booksmart. That movie just didn't have guys in it because the writer is against men. Katie Silverman is not a good writer. I said that. Olivia Wilde's a good director. Silverman is not a good writer. You got to write strong male and female characters, Silverman. And this movie's not boring. It never gets boring. For 2 hours and 5 minutes, it uses its running time well. Unlike some of the Transformer sequels and the second movie where it's 30 minutes longer than this, and it did not need to be. And my mom was like, "It was so sad." I know because the movie starts sad and it ends sad. It's not uplifting like this movie was. The thing is that Claude didn't kill his father. It was what's his face, Baron Zemo. And I love Lord of the Rings, but those movies are too long to do a podcast for. If I have to do them, the extended cuts, I got to do them in parts. There's no way I can do it for over 3 hours. I can't because I don't mind doing a podcast in two parts. I mean, or in 2 different days. Because I did two movies at the same time with there's the digital car. This is the CG that some people had a problem with. It looks fine here. It's at the end that it looks like a video game, like a PS4 game at the time, because the PS5 didn't come out till like the 2020s, I think. Yeah, This film has a budget. It does. What was the budget again? I know this is on Disney Plus, but I was like, no, I'd rather just watch it here because I want to watch my Blu-ray. Come on. That was awesome. Yeah, that scene still looks awesome. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, this one got 7 Academy Award nominations, Josh. See? 7, and it won 3. So you cannot say superhero movies don't have Oscar gold in their future. This cost $200 million. Guess what? The budget's on the screen. It doesn't look like a CGI cartoon like Transformers, the Transformer sequels, or Fast 9 or Fast X, or even the last 5 superhero movies that came out last year, minus Spider-Verse. They all look the same. Guardians looks like Quantumania. Shazam 2 looks like Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle looks like the Flash. Flash looks like freaking Aquaman. It's the same freaking thing. We've seen CGI fights, guys. Make it interesting. That's why last year sucked so badly. So many movies bombed because they didn't look good. Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny. Didn't hate it, but it could have been way shorter and it could have had a smaller budget. You didn't need $200 million. This movie does look like a $200 million budget movie because I've seen worse, guys. If people thought that they weren't going to use CG in this movie, you were completely wrong because there was a lot of CG in Civil War. Not really for the costume, but that's awesome. That slow-mo shot, yeah. That was in the trailer, yeah. That was badass. It doesn't have to look real, guys. When it comes to the some of the CGI here, and like in Avatar, it looks way worse because everything is CGI. There's no people on screen. It's just blue cats, the ocean, the animals, and the freaking the floating mountains and all that. It looks fake. It doesn't look real. Give me something that looks real and feels real. Oh no! That was awesome. She flipped over and yep, that was cool. It's a superhero movie. It can be outrageous and over the top. Look at her. She's still using the steering wheel sitting down in the car to they got destroyed. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. It's a fun scene. Yeah, people just complain because it's got too much CG. It's at the end that it looks like a video game when uh Killmonger and T'Challa are fighting. Yeah, that looks like a CGI cartoon. But again, that's at the end, guys. Most of the film looks good. People are just, they want everything to look perfect. No movie is perfect, guys. Even Endgame. I love the movie. I think it's a nearly perfect movie, but it's got flaws. I gave it a 10 out of 10 because how much I love the film. Because it started with emotion and it ends with emotion. If it was just a CGI cartoon in the beginning, I would have been like, no, I don't care. Don't worry, Josh. I'm not seeing Way of Water. There's nobody black in the cast. It's mostly a bunch of white people being boring, except for Zoe Saldana and like 2 characters and so some of Sully's kids. That's it. Yep. Gotcha, bitch. Nope. He was going to kill him. He was going to rip his eyes out. Plus, a bunch of dark skinned black people are going to definitely, stand out in Busan. There it is. He's missing his arm. Yeah, Andy Serkis is having a ball. At least when he's sitting down here, he's got a smile on his face. When they said we're going to kill you off in the Last Jedi, he probably was like, "Damn it, you brought me back to kill me off, making me look like Voldemort." Voldemort got into a car accident, Better to let him talk along for 5 minutes to make a scene here. Again, wink, wink. If he touches you again, I'm gonna impale him to the desk. That's great. She's so badass, man. You can't just touch a king, dude. You have to have permission. I would love Denai to be a Comic Con this year so I could hear her sign, so she can sign my Blu-ray. Yeah, I would love that. This or Infinity War, because she's in that a lot too. She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. I love her large expressive eyes and her voice, and her hair is not too bad to look at either when she has hair in real life. Yep, baby, they'll hurt me. People were laughing in the theater. This is a nice fan moment for people that like The Hobbit: Unexpected Journey. Plus, making him a scroll in Secret Invasion was stupid. How dare you, Marvel? Again, I blame the writers and Disney for making Martin Freeman's character a scroll. We know we weren't going to kill off Martin Freeman in a freaking Disney Plus show. No. Plus, Disney Plus shows should not feel like homework assignments. The MCU will speak for itself. You don't need to have these side missions that go on for way too long. After Loki, they should have stopped for a while. Nobody cared about What If. Nobody cared about Secret Invasion. Nobody cared about freaking Miss Marvel. I liked Miss Marvel, but it wasn't for everybody, especially She-Hulk. Good God, that CGI was atrocious, and that was for the entire show. Here is at the very end. Whoopee. We're about an hour in. Oh, stolen! Yeah, he laughs too much, but he thinks he's the Joker. Andy Serkis should have been the Joker. It's ironic because now he's in the Batman, and he was great as Alfred, but he was underused a little bit. I think Robert was great as Batman, but Alfred, I want more of him. And either maybe he'll be in the Penguin show in a cameo, and the Batman 2, which is going to film this year. I hope all goes well and they don't have any major delays. Because nowadays a movie getting released is a miracle. In the theater, this was released in the theater on time. They didn't release it like 6 years later. Mega Man arm. The Transformers also can change their arms into weapons too. That's the only subtitle in the movie to make me laugh because it's like it's so random. He's like, if he touches you again, I'm gonna impale. There's Killmonger. Yeah, about an hour into the movie, he shows up to do something after he breaks into the museum. A Dell computer, because I will get any of my Marvel movies signed at Comic Con. I haven't yet. No, I've gotten two DC movies signed at Comic Con. Lego the Flash, and Shazam, the first Shazam movie, which came out a year after this. It's pretty intense for a PG-13 movie. No, there weren't a lot of kids in the theater when I saw this. That's the purple suit. See, that grenade blew up in 3 seconds. It didn't take 5 minutes. Fast X. He's like ha ha ha, and then Killmonger just kills him off real quickly. Martin Freeman got hurt. Yeah, but they do heal him. Yeah, because any movie I'm gonna probably get a Marvel movie signed this year at Comic Con. I got to get that. That has to happen because a lot of people bought a lot of their Captain America shields to get signed by the cast of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And well, actually, one actress from Marvel did sign a Blu-ray for me, but it wasn't a Marvel movie. It was Detective Pikachu. But I haven't gotten a Marvel movie signed, so I want to get that. I had Power Rangers, uh, like I said, Shazam, Lego the Flash, Detective Pikachu. I said that already, right? And Also, my Kingdom Hearts 2 video game. It was signed by Rachel Lee Cook. Hi, puppy whoppers. She's so cute. We're about an hour in, and we got another hour to go. But it went by quick because in that hour we've had T'Challa in the costume. You've had a lot of action, some humor, some emotion, and you also had payoffs to the last movie that he was in, which was Captain America: Civil War. Will this be in my top 10 favorite MCU movies? No, because the Avengers are like take up half the spot, except for Infinity War. That's not in my top three because it's Endgame. The first Avengers are tied, and then you have the second Avengers movie, and then you have like probably the third one, or it depends, or Civil War because that's one of the best sequels. And at least Captain America, both of his sequels were awesome. There wasn't a bad sequel to be had there. Thor is debatable. And plus, Kaluuya has like a lazy eye. I noticed he has that, and also, uh, what's his face? Forrest Whitaker, because he's had an eye condition for years since the '80s, and also the guy that plays T'Chaka, you know, Black Panther's dad. His eye is like a little bit down as well. I'm not making fun of them. I'm like, that's just so some people have eye ailments. Nope, sorry. You're gonna be Claw's gonna get killed and replaced by Killmonger as the main villain. It's like this is my movie. I'm the main villain, baby. hmm both. B. Jordan would be a great villain in a Bond movie. I'm not taking that back. I could see this guy playing a Bond villain instead of a boring actor. Rami Malek as a villain just didn't work for me in No Time to Die. He's a good actor, but he was wasted, and he talks like this, and I'm like, I'm sorry, giving him a forgettable accent and talking through his teeth. That's not working for me, guys. He won his Oscar for that for Bohemian Rhapsody, but it's not going to work in every movie. Rami Malek doesn't need to do an accent in everything he does. Just talk normal. I wouldn't mind a black villain. We haven't had a black villain in the Bond franchise in a long time. I think the last one was Yaphet in one of the '70s films. You saw he has those lumps. It looks like leprosy. Killmonger killed a man that has a disability. Yep. Look at my glowing lips. Yeah, Kane Hodder has that under his lip. It says, I think, death or something like that. Yep. That's it for Andy Serkis. There's nothing wrong with a Marvel movie wanting to represent black people the right way without it being ghetto or a slave movie. No, it's people in a high society in Africa, in a fictional African country, but it works. I didn't think they could pull it off, but they did. But it should have been a one and done. I think that doing a sequel without Bozeman, they should have just canceled it, or should have been what a Wakanda Forever TV show. That's what Eternal should have been. It did not need to be a movie. It was boring, and there were too many characters. There's a lot of characters here, but again, there's enough to pad out to make the running time not go on for 3 hours. That's much better. I'm doing this with my laptop. I could have put it over there, but I have to check the chat. It's kind of dead today, but it's a heterosexual man. At least guy, excuse me, showed up. This Blu-ray looks amazing, by the way, because I bought this Blu-ray used at a Five Below back in 2021, a year after Bozeman died, and I didn't see it until now because the Blu-ray player wasn't working. This works perfectly. Yep, right in the chest, man. Ooh, this movie's pretty violent for a PG-13. Get Out was R, but like I said, I don't see it being scary. What's scary in that movie is the blind prejudice in it. Even though Black Klansman was more ballsy because it went there. I mean, yeah, freaking Adam Driver dressed as a Klansman. That is terrifying. Yeah, that's the kid from Night Squad. He was uh the little brother of the main guy that played Warwick. Yeah, who should be Miles, by the way, Josh. Look him up. He looks just like Miles. He would be a great live action Miles in the MCU. I'm just saying. I mean, all you need is the hair, the stack of hair that he has in Spider Verse, and the dark skin. That's all you need. You don't need a actor who's half Spanish. That's not necessary. Just get the look right, and you and the voice and the mannerisms. It's fine. You want to throw his parents in there? Fine. Just don't force it. You saw they got sickles. Yeah, these giant blades. And those are real horses and not CGI. That's really Australia because they couldn't film in all. Some of the scenes were filmed in Africa, and some were filmed in Australia to be safe. You can't call something woke just because it's got a full black cast. Again, guys, go back to the 70s, go back to the 80s. Yeah, they could sell movies. Even the 90s and the early 2000s. Before Fast and the Furious became a cartoon, it was a simple story about people driving and stealing bootleg DVD players. Yeah, it wasn't a superhero movie. This is a superhero movie. I cannot believe that Chadwick Boseman is wasted in Gods of Egypt, and he should have just said no. Yeah, but it wasn't his last film, so at least that his last film, one of his last films was that drama that he did a couple years on Netflix a couple years ago. That was like right before he died, and his last MCU thing was What If, the first season. Don't scare me like that. Age doesn't matter to me. I don't care if a black girl is 20, 25, or 35. If she appeals to me and I want her, I'm going for it. And is single, not married. I'm going for it. I got nothing to hide. This face cannot be hidden at a Comic Con this year. You're going to see a lot more of this face in 2024. A lot more of it in the spring, summer, and fall when Comic Con happens again. We're about 30 minutes in, right? An hour and 10 minutes. I do the countdown because when I do the DVD player, I don't know how long of the movie is left. Because I tried to do The Last Dragon and that didn't work out because the disc was scratched. It was scratched and it had a like some dirt on it, so it wasn't working. That looks amazing. This is the scene that not this is not the scene, but this is a foreshadowing of the end fight with T'Challa and with Killmonger. Yeah, they put it in like a bullet train, like they do in Japan. Yeah, in the second movie, I don't know what happened to her. She was this cute and helpful side character, and then they make her the lead, and she's crying all the time. No, that's a CW show, guys. I'm sorry. That looks great. See, that's real grass, real mountains, real fields. Very romantic, by the way. I know. I hope you guys have a happy and safe Valentine's Day in a couple of days. It's going to snow on Tuesday again, but nothing major. Put it up. And the romance was completely killed off in the second movie. Why? Because Boseman wasn't there. And Shuri had no man. Why? Because she was busy crying the whole movie. It was like Barry Allen in the Flash TV series, where every season he's crying, and it got old fast. Again, Lion King people. She's basically Nala. If Shuri would be like, I don't know who she would be. Maybe I mean she's a female character. Because Simba didn't have a little sister. He had he didn't have any siblings. Even the backgrounds in this movie look amazing. This movie made $1.3 billion. That's almost as much as what Barbie made last year, and that movie wasn't as integrated. It had mostly a bunch of white people wearing pink and being weird. How much did Barbie make? I'm not seeing the movie. I tell Josh I'm not gay. Sorry, not gay, and I'm also not a woman. And they're re-releasing the movie. Of course they are because the Oscars is soon. It's in a month. And yeah, Barbie made 446 billion, so it made about a 100 million more than this movie. I don't know why. I don't get it. I mean, I get why people are into the toys, but we know we saw the Creed movies, and he was the last one to work with Jonathan Majors before he got canceled. Yep, they look like them. It doesn't make me uncomfortable. When I saw Black Klansman, yes, it's very racist, but it's also empowering because at the end of the movie, when Denzel's son, what's his name? John, wait, what's his name? hmm Let me see. What's his name? John David Washington. Yeah, when he gets that guy at the end in the diner, that's awesome. That is one of the most empowering things. Like, oh, gotcha, bitch. I love that. That's great. That's his American and heritage. I love this scene. This is a really good reveal, by the way. Watch. He starts speaking in their language. And Dajaka, son of Prince Njobu. See, he can speak their language. Re- he can reach their level. You see, it was a really, really good twist. I was like, "What? He's the little boy from the beginning of the movie." That was a cool reveal. The descendant of Njobu. That was. I didn't see that coming. I mean, Michael B. Jordan just sells it, man. He sells it. hmm And Angela Bassett was so good in that second movie, but they did a disservice by killing her off. So he has gold teeth again, guys. It's a stereotype. I get it, but it was more distracting in the Marvels. Your lead villain is a black woman that looks like a Final Fantasy villain and has grills. Why? I don't know. Because I heard the commentary in this movie on Disney Plus. I think last year. This is the second scene that made me cry in the theater when he throws him off of the waterfall. I knew T'Challa wasn't dead, but still, it's like when Simba has to run away. Some people just didn't get this culture. They thought that this was going to be a Disney movie, and it's not. Well, it's kind of like Black. It kind of reminds me of the Lion King, but with human beings and not animals. Yeah, his costume, he looks like a GI Joe character. See, this fight is great. The fight at the end is kind of weak, but I don't think it's horrible. It's just kind of weaker than this fight because this is the two of them with that amazing makeup. By the way, yep, he's got beef with T'Challa, and I didn't expect to cry in this scene too. But again, guys, Marvel can hit the heartstrings more than you know. Because it's not like every movie that came out after the pandemic, in the MCU sucked. No, some crowds were very into No Way Home. They clapped at the end. Also, with Shang-Chi, people liked it as well. Black Widow, not so much. But again, Yelena ruined that movie for me. She ran that movie into the ground. Eternals was boring. Multiverse was cool. The sequel was just too depressing. Like I can't watch it this month. It's just not the same movie without Bozeman. See, he stopped them. Oh man. See, there's emotion in this movie. That's an Oscar-winning actor right there. Kaluuya didn't win his Oscar until after this with for Judas and the Black Messiah, which I don't want to watch because it's really depressing. Those are Black Panthers that have nothing to do with this movie. That's Shuri in the whole second movie. It's emotional, man. This is where I broke down. Yeah. Oof. Oh man, that's heartbreaking, man. It's really heartbreaking. Especially since Bozeman died 2 years later, and they will never have a fight like that. And the sequel is Namor against Shuri, and it's not the same. It doesn't have the same level of emotion that this film did. The emotions fly high in this movie and in the sequel. That's the one thing that it connects both films. You can't say, "Oh, the sequel was horrible because it has too many black women in it." Yeah, it did, but again, they had the emotion. Angela Bassett is acting like she's in a drama, not a superhero movie. She was actually born in Mexico, but she's born to two Kenyan parents, so she's black. No, in the sequel, it hurt me. It broke my heart. People weren't even speaking; they were speechless the first 15 minutes of Wakanda Forever, and it's a really hard movie to watch. Probably the hardest MCU sequel to watch, mainly because you never see you didn't see it coming. Even if Bozeman had not died, it wouldn't have been as good as the first one. See, I teared up, but I didn't have to Guardians hit me way harder last year. And you can't fake human emotion. You have to have it. You bottled it up, people will never know who you are on the inside. Unlike Django Unchained, oh no, that movie I cannot do a podcast for that movie. It will break me. It will make me cry for days. This movie and its sequel didn't put too many. No, there's no N words in it. You don't need it. It's not necessary. It's not necessary at all. If I do Django Unchained, I have to do it after Black History Month because I just can't. He's a slave that gets treated like a freaking animal, and like it's too much for me. It's not even a full black cast because you have DiCaprio and freaking Christoph Waltz and a bunch of other people. I'm like, yeah, I can wait. Flashback. Because I was sitting next to some ushers that were coming when the movie was over, and I said this was really culturally sensitive, and I felt so empowered. That's what a movie should feel. It should make you feel something. So they have to cover him in sand. I wouldn't do that because I don't want to be able not being able to breathe. I really enjoyed this movie. It was in my top 10 in 2018, and for a good reason on my old channel because it went for it. It did not hold back. Hi, puppy. Yeah, she sleeps all day because she has nothing to do. I'm gonna take a nap later. I didn't get to yesterday because we're making so much noise here. Yep, there's the lifting again. Because the reason that people didn't care about a Black Little Mermaid is because it was used as a gimmick. It wasn't the best casting decision. Sorry, Disney, but with this you struck gold. With the Little Mermaid, you struck tin. It didn't bomb completely, but it would have done better if you had not preached or make the movie 2 hours long. How could you make a Little Mermaid remake that long? It's not like they adapted the original story. They didn't. They just made the same movie but longer. See, let it out, Michael B. Jordan. Let it out. Crying on camera doesn't make you a bitch because I'm like, guess what? I do it all the time, and people see my humanity. They see that I have human emotions. I don't bottle it up like some people did during the pandemic. I just don't. I have a condition, but it's not going to stop me from being human and expressing myself emotionally. Whether it makes me cry, angry, or happy, or it just makes me laugh. I like to express different emotions. It's what the human brain was made for. If you've seen Inside Out, you'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah, he's like Scar. She is like Nala, Lupita Nyong'o's character. I don't know her name in the movie. It's just as a so because I know Okoye is Denai Garai, if I'm saying that right. Yeah, see, he's burning everything just like The Last Jedi, except done with way more respect than that movie ever did. That movie hurt me. I know. And Baku gets kind of underused here, but they use him more in the second one because Daniel Kaluuya is not in the second one, so they put him more in that one. M'Baku. Because at least Kaluuya's not like trying to steal the movie from Michael B. Jordan. There's a snow mountain. We knew T'Challa wasn't dead because there's a fight at the end. They're up in the snow. This is at least is not an underwater scene because in that movie there was too much talking underwater. You saw like that's big head with the teeth. That was M'Baku's mask in the beginning of the film. Who? Yeah, they do like dogs. That looks great. That's structure. So you can't say superhero movies don't get Oscar love. When Deadpool 3 comes out, it could get it for the costume design, at least for the costume design, or the makeup, or even the performance. You never know. Anything can happen this year. Anything. He's a boss, man. He should have been in the movie more. They'd give him more to do at the end of this. He has a lot of presence to him, and he's a side character. Who? They sound like a bunch of dogs, like a bunch of bulldogs, right? When they did that in Infinity War, people were laughing, but they also like these characters because, again, they're not in the film that much, but they leave an impression on you. Most of the characters in this movie do, except for the light white British people that are in the beginning of the film. That lady's like, "These are not for sale," and it's like, "I'm not going to buy it from you. I'm going to steal it from you." He's great, man. That's a beautiful flower. It's a great shot too. It's dark and he's sitting on a throne. I'm like, yeah, looks still better than any episode of Game of Thrones. That had subtitles too, but then its ending plummeted. Yeah, we're about 90 minutes in, 95 minutes. We're almost done, guys. The movie's not that long. It only feels short because the sequel is so damn long. And so was Eternals. If I knew Marvel movies are going to get longer after this, I would have just tapped out after Infinity War Endgame. There he is. And it's sad because Bozeman would die 2 years later, and it was a major loss. I couldn't believe it. I went like in a year that year that I don't want to mention, where all the deaths happened because of the pandemic. I'm like, yeah, he didn't even die from the pandemic. It was from cancer. I got to eat lunch after this. Well, I'm gonna make some burgers. Yeah, Martin Freeman feels a little bit out of place in this movie because it's a very pro-black movie, and he's a white British man playing an American in in an environment that he just feels kind of out of place in. Because in The Hobbit, he was fine. He had a bunch of white guys playing the dwarves, and he had Gandalf there, so it worked. But here, this is very very pro-black, and I'm very happy for it. Why? Hi there. To you too, puppy. Because even the way this movie, the sequel starts, it starts with T'Challa dying, and I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you make that the beginning of your Marvel movie? It just hurt me. It was just so sad. I miss you, Bozeman. I miss you so much. I'm gonna keep saying that because you left a void that can never be filled from any other actor. Wait, Rat, I'm coming. I'm gonna go open the door. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna finish this movie. Don't worry. We got a few minutes left. We got that final battle with the rhinos, and you're gonna see it. I just love him waking up. It's not as emotional as when Rocket woke up from a coma, dying in Guardians 3, but I'm coming, Rat. This movie's amazing. It still holds up. It's too bad I already did Infinity War. I gotta do Endgame next, but not this month because the movie's too long. I would have to do that like on a day that my parents are not here. Down the stairs, Rat. Luckily, I don't have to throw that garbage out today because tomorrow's a holiday. Okay. I could just leave the laptop right here because the movie's almost over. Yeah. That way I don't have to put it on my lap anymore because the movie's almost done. Yeah, he always will. Because when the voice actors voice Black Panther, it's respectful to Boseman. It's not like it's taking away from his legacy. But as live action, he could never be replaced. With Miles, we haven't had a live action Miles yet, so I think it's time. And Baku is one of the best side characters in the movie. Because he leaves an impression on you, and he's a good actor too. All right, let me see what she's up to. Come on, Rat. Hey, where you going? Where you going? Where you going? Are you going back out there? Let me finish this movie. Come on. Let me see here. Yeah, those chips are they're terrible. Yeah, Wakanda Forever should have had an intermission. I agree with that heterosexual guy because it's too long. Once a movie is 2.5 hours, they have to cut it off and just by the hour and 20-minute mark, and then give us a break, and then we can finish the movie. That gives audience time to breathe. Yeah, I am not sitting through a 3-hour movie again in the theater. No. Dune Part 2 is 2 hours and 46 minutes. Why is it that long? Yeah, we're an hour and 41 minutes in. It's not 2 hours and 14 minutes. Like I said, I clocked this. It's 2 hours and 5 minutes. Basically, M'Baku's like Timon and Pumbaa mixed into one because he's a side character that helps him at the end. Because there's no really, I guess he's Pumbaa and Timon is Martin Freeman, I guess, because he's a side character and he's voiced by a white guy. So, yeah. Okay, Rat, come on, come here. Here's the final battle. I'm going to make the burgers, so let me just take 2 of them out. Dad already ate some of these? Wow. I didn't even wait for them. Damn, Dad. Eat everything. I think I got the last 2. I'm going to get another box in the winter when winter's over. Oakley dokley. Let's do this. Wait, come on. That's it, right? You're not going to get another snack for until the movie's over. You got it? So don't get me for another snack in 5 minutes. Let me finish this movie, and then we can do it. Kaluuya looks at him like, yeah, I'm your right-hand man. Here you go. Yep, this is it. This is the final battle. In that grassy field in Australia, I think, yeah. Whoop. Yep, there he is. Hell yeah, buddy. Like a boss. This is my country. This is my kingdom. Yep, he lives. Well, let me leave the music low. That's right, Rat. Go that way because I've got to finish this movie. Yeah, a bathroom break doesn't hurt. When I saw all the Die Hard movies back in 2013, they had an intermission. It was after the movies were by the end credits. They didn't just start the movie right away. They waited 10 minutes and then they started. That's how you do it. If a movie's over 2 hours, you got to give some kind of a break. And no, it's not during the trailers because I go to the bathroom before the trailers. Yeah. Yeah, here comes this awesome battle at the end. It's like Braveheart. Granted, I like the battle at the end of Infinity War better because, you got all the superheroes there. There's the women. Yeah. There's this Killmonger outfit. Gold. This is awesome, yeah. The women fighting a guy. See, and it's never about gender politics, guys. It's done with freaking class. That's what some people don't understand, That's awesome. They got the shields there. That's awesome. Yep, spear, baby. There's a lot of CG, but it only looks bad to me at the end when he's fighting Killmonger in the train. That looks like a cutscene from a Black Panther PS4 game. When I do Endgame, I have to do it on another day because the movie's over. It's almost 3 hours. Without the end credits, it's 2:49. Yeah, stop it. I don't want you ever coming back to Spider-Verse. Leave it in the hands of people that care about the franchise. Doo-doo. Here come the armored rhinos. Yeah, these look badass. Look at that. Yeah, baby. When I saw that in the theater, I smiled. I was like, those rhinos look awesome. Armored, freaking ready to rhinos. And if you people hated the Star Wars prequels, of course you're going to hate this CGI because that was in the Star Wars prequels. Remember, Phantom Menace, you had the Gungans against the droids, and then you had in Attack of the Clones, you had the those animals in the arena. Yeah, she's too skinny for me. It's like with China McClain. I think she's just way too skinny for a black girl. Way too thin. I like Marseille Martin more because she has more meat on her bones. And she's gorgeous. And she has those large, friendly eyes. Half of these women don't even have names, but they're memorable. Yep, he killed one of them. That's right, girls. Girl power. That was cool. See, now Shuri does something in 2 hours, almost 2 hours into the film. She's mostly done the tech stuff in the movie, but in the sequel, why did you have to wait 2 hours to release her costume? It felt like a downgrade, in my opinion. It's like when we went from Tobey Maguire Spider Man to Andrew Garfield. It just felt like a downgrade, especially in the first film. The costume sucked, and it just yeah, he had the web shooters, but the villain was awful. That movie was worse than this. The Amazing Spider-Man, yeah, that movie is boring. That's right. Ride the Rhino. Ride that Rhino. That's right, girls. Did I mention that Marvel does the movies the best? Love DC, but there's a reason their universe is over, and Marvel will continue this year. Deadpool 3 is going to be so awesome. I cannot wait for it. Why? Because Ryan Reynolds is going to own the movie. What does Josh say? Oh my God, he's going to make fun of Wanda and all the women. Everybody deserves ridicule, Josh. Everybody got to get knocked down a peg or two. I get made fun of all the time, but I keep going. I don't take myself so damn seriously. My channel I take seriously because I want my channel to be seen. That's why I say acknowledge me every video. I mean it. This is the closest Martin Freeman will get to being in a Star Wars movie. That's awesome. Even though rhinos are villains, I still like that. They look cool. I didn't get this movie in 2018 because I wanted to wait for a while till it was cheaper. For Christmas I got Ant Man. You don't get to make fun of women in a comic movie because the girls will be offended, especially Caitlin. Caitlin's not in the movie, Josh. Sorry. Maybe she could be in a cameo. I don't know. And again, Elektra, we couldn't make fun of her. Her movie sucked. Yeah, her movie sucked. Her 2005 movie was garbage. It failed at the box office. It was critically panned. Jennifer Garner was not the problem. It was the writing. Catwoman sucked. That starred a woman and it sucked. So did Eternals. Eternals, Black Panther. It should have been more like Black Panther or Guardians. This kind of looks ridiculous. Yeah, this CGI looks awful. This doesn't look great. It's like they're fighting in space, but this would be fine if this movie was sci-fi in space, but it's not. Yeah, there's the CG. Yeah, it doesn't look that great. Making fun of it is not bullying, Josh. So don't say that because again, her movie sucked, and it came out before Deadpool. So nothing's off the table. You don't like it, that's your fault, not mine. The costume looks great until this scene. This scene is where the CGI, yeah, it was kind of ridiculous. But so one part of the final battle, I think, is just kind of weak because you have the bullet train heading towards them, and it looks like they had the same scene in Blade, and Blade was done better 20 years before this. Blade was in 1998, and while it has some dated CGI, it was made for its time, but that looked better than this. The train scene looked better. Their acting is not the problem in this scene. B. Jordan is giving it his all. And what he says at the end is very prolific, Josh. Listen to the words. Listen before you jump the gun. When he kills himself, I'm like, yeah, it is one of the most darkest scenes in the MCU, where the villain's like, I'd rather be free in death than be a slave again. I'm like, it's very profound. I was like, damn, I did not expect that in a Marvel movie. But again, unlike a Kenya Barris project, it's not all about race. He's shooting right at you. I'm gonna do all the MCU movies from phase one to phase three. Four, no, not doing all of them. I'm doing Shang-Chi and the movies from 2022. That's about it though. I will not be doing Black Widow or Eternals because they were painful. Yeah. Black Widow should have been about Black Widow, Natasha, not her dumbass fake sister that we don't care about. I'll take 100 Shuris any day over Yelena because her accent is not as painful. Ho, ho, ho. Here come the dogs. That's right. Yes, sir. Yes, fight the power, people. Fight the power. It's a really good battle, except for that CGI fight at the end. See this one, yeah. It looks like a cutscene. Be great if this is a Black Panther video game or the Avengers video game. I'm not making fun of Jennifer Garner. I'm making fun of the character. Big difference. Her movie sucked. No one's gonna say that movie was good. It's not even guilty pleasure. It's bad. It's boring and it's uneventful, and it's supposed to be a Marvel movie. Yeah, there's a reason that was made before the MCU. The MCU didn't have their first major flop until last year. Because while Incredible Hulk didn't make $1 billion, it made more than Quantumania, and it made more than freaking the Marvels. That's awesome. See, he did it, and it's not ridiculous like Vin Diesel in Fast X. He destroyed two helicopters with a car. This is a spaceship. Big freaking difference, guys. It's kind of like a spaceship, yeah, or a jet fighter, whatever you want to call it. It's not bullying. What they did to Kelly Marie Tran in The Last Jedi, that was bullying. Because they didn't. Not only did they hate the character, but they bullied her on Twitter for nothing, just so that she could be in the movie for like 5 minutes in the Rise of Skywalker. CGI fight kind of reminds me of the end fight in The Flash. Yeah, that looks even worse, Josh. That looks like a video game cutscene. This movie didn't cost 220 million. No, this movie cost 200 million. It's less than The Flash because it didn't get delayed 18 years. Mm, mm. See, Kaluuya, you can't match her. I don't care if you won an Oscar. That doesn't mean you can match her badassery. You can't. As a Spider-Man, you failed. Jameek is he's the Spider-Man of the Spider-Verse, not you. A spin-off, really, with a character we don't care about. No, I didn't. I'm sorry. I'll take the Spider Ham, who I missed in the sequel, and the film noir, and Penny Parker, and Peter B. Parker over you any day, because they're more interesting and funny, and they're not taking themselves so damn seriously. That's right, T'Challa. Let him eat dirt. Would have been a great scene if it was just a fight with the two of them. There's a reason Civil War was a better fight scene with Tony, Cap, and freaking Bucky, because it was emotional and it wasn't a CGI-a-thon. The Flash had way worse CGI than this because it has CGI babies and CGI cameos of actors that are dead already. You don't need to show that again. We missed them too much, like Christopher Reeve and George Reeve. Here, this is the scene. Plus, the Flash had scenes that could have been cut out. This is his emotional death. See, there's a lot of tears in this movie. Even with Boseman, he cries a lot too. He could have saved them, but he's like, nope, don't want to live like this. This is a Marvel movie where the villain dies, so you won't be seeing B. Jordan again, and they're not going to do a Black Panther 3. It won't. It won't be good. Just leave it at that. Just do a TV show, maybe on Disney Plus, and then end it like that. It is. No, he's like, no, I don't want it. Exactly. Yikes. Death is better than bondage. Yep. See, he doesn't want to live like a slave. Again, I get it. I get it. It's a hard loss too, because without him and Bozeman in the sequel, it just was not going to be the same. It's good, man. That's why I can't see the Lion King remake, because it's not going to be more emotionally distraught as this is, or the sequel, Wakanda Forever. It's almost done, guys. There's the animals again, the sheep, the chickens. It's a good movie. It still holds up really well. Yeah, like I said, with Wakanda Forever, the CGI fight, the Flash. The thing is, they waited too long. When the pandemic happened, they should have just canceled it or just done it sooner and recast Ezra Miller, because he's the reason people didn't want to see it, because he's crazy. Yes, there is. Thank you for being used in this movie and not underused, like in The Star Wars sequel trilogy. You got an Oscar-winning actress from 12 Years a Slave and to play an alien that does nothing. That's right. Share the love. Hmm. Yeah, baby, they're mixing chocolate. It's a sweet scene, but again, it would never be topped because the sequel, Lupita being on her own, it's like Fast and the Furious. Once an actor dies, either just stop or recast and do a new character. Don't try to act like it never happened, guys. That's the problem here. When it comes to sequels, you got to have the original actor back, or people are not going to be interested. Look at Triple X. Look at Coachella. Everyone hates recasting, so it can't be done. You're wrong with that, Josh. They recasted, a War Machine, and it worked. You went from Terrence Howard who wanted more money in the sequel to freaking Don Cheadle. It worked. Don't say it can't happen. Always so negative. Jesus. Always so negative. Why don't you think positive like I do? There's a bus over there. Look in the background. Also, this movie doesn't have a lot of product placement in it, like some other Marvel movies or DC movies. Plus, this movie didn't have 100 different copycats like when the Avengers came out. Every studio wanted to be the Avengers. Here, it's like a black story that worked. Shang-Chi was the Asian version of this, except there were more subtitles, and also the lead is going to get a sequel. There's a spaceship. Yeah. They only hate recasting when you recast an actor wrong. Like when they went from Keanu Reeves in Speed to freaking Jason Patrick in the sequel. I didn't say you had Alzheimer's, Josh. I said if you worry too much, you'll get it. Trust me. Look it up. The one and only Black Panther, man. We miss you, Bozeman. Love you, man. Thank you. That's it, Josh. It's done. Let's just get to the. Let me keep the volume low. Let's fast forward it. Get to the post credit scene because I don't need to sit through all this. Skip. Amazing movie, and Bozeman is dearly missed. Without him, the MCU desperately needs more black superheroes. Blade, Miles, and maybe even just anybody else. Here we go. This is the first post credit scene with in the UN building, Vienna, Austria. Is when Bozeman makes a speech. I said, if you worry too much, you'll get Alzheimer's. Look it up. If you're constantly mentally stressed out, it'll break your brain. At least that wasn't the last scene with Bozeman. This is. And it got a big reaction at the end of Endgame. We didn't know it would be the last time we would see him in a Marvel movie. They didn't want to recast T'Challa or use CGI because it would have offended people. Same thing with Heath Ledger. When he died unexpectedly in before the Dark Knight, they didn't want to recast him. That's why when they did Suicide Squad and Joker, they did a different take on Joker. One of it failed, and the other one was Oscar Gold. Yeah, his smile was amazing, man. Well, there's one more scene, guys. Skip this. I don't want to get a copyright infringement. Skip to skip, skip to skip, skip to skip, skip. There's a lot of post credit scenes in every Marvel movie except Endgame. There was nothing there. And we just fast forward a little bit more. And songs. I'll start with the blah 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 and stop. Just leave it there. Leave it low. There's the black kids with the makeup on their face. And who's there? Bucky. He got a huge, huge reaction if you saw my reaction video years ago. The White Wolf. There's Bucky. He was there after Civil War with no arm. Wait, Rat, I know you saw something. Let me just finish this. We got a few seconds. White Wolf. They're probably gonna do that next because I know his next movie is Thunderbolts, but I don't care about the Thunderbolts. Shush, shh. He does look like Mark Hamill. It's crazy how much he looks like him. The White Wolf. Yep, you got to fight an Infinity War and then snap gets snapped. Yep, Black Panther will return in Avengers Infinity War. I remember seeing that. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Thank you. Acknowledge me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. It's a great movie, and I'm glad I got to see it with you guys. See ya. And calm down a little bit. And you have to stop.